You take your seats, please. Hey, good morning. I'm showing 0700. We'll get started with today's operational briefing for the Creek Fire for September 25th, 2020. If you can do me a favor, please grab your cell phones, put them on silent, turn down your radios, and keep all side conversations outside of the briefing area so everybody gets a good briefing. My name is Chris Kerr, the Plan Section Chief for IMT-1. We'll go ahead and get started with the incident situation update.
Hey, good morning. Polo Rodriguez, Nighttime Operations for Incident Management Team 1. The only activity we had yesterday on the fire was up here on Nora, and the fire started pushing towards the Kaiser Pass Road. Last night they ended up actually doing a little defensive firing out of that area. So far it still hasn't crossed the road, and we got crews out there. From the rest of the fire, from the Jose Basin all the way up, we did pull some hose. We do got people back in there. We didn't have very little service calls in there last night in the Middle Lakes area. Working our way back. Whiskey Victor, where we ended up doing that burnout, we did mop up in there. Everything's looking good. We still got one little section. We do got line on it, but we want to get it closer. We're going to try to finish that today. Sierra, we're looking at between 100 and 200 feet mopped up. Everything's looking good in there. Same thing with Romeo on that spot. Still had some heat on to the west of it, or the west tip of that spot. The rest of the fire looked really good. Remember, there's still a lot of unburned islands out there. There's still a lot of stuff we could be mopping up. Even though we were working the perimeter, there's still stuff in there 1,000 feet in, and that's where the structures are. So heads up, have a good shift, and have a safe day.
And moving on to the incident objectives, starting with the management objectives. Utilize the risk management process to identify and mitigate hazards to protect firefighters and the public. Emphasize strategies and tactics that have the highest probability of success and the least exposure to firefighters and the public. Develop strategies to protect life, property, communities, businesses, and infrastructure. Employ tactics that fulfill these strategies while being mindful of the necessity for contingency and emergency plans. Ensure strategies account for incident priorities, applying resources to those with the highest consequences first. Follow CDC guidelines for COVID-19 and establish local, state, and federal guidance to limit the spread of the virus within the incident and the surrounding communities near the fire area. Provide timely and continuous incident information to affected agency partners, cooperators, and the public. Maintain fiscal accountability and keep costs commensurate with values at risk. Control objectives. Keep the fire north of Pine Flat Lake. Keep the fire south of the South Fork of the Merced River and the crest of Ansel Adams Wilderness. Keep the fire east of Highway 41, and keep the fire west of Minarets Range. Fire weather.
Mark Pallarito, incident meteorologist. So for today, recoveries last night were actually pretty decent, the best we've seen in nights, and we have one more day of relatively milder and not too bad conditions for fire weather. Still dry, of course, but just not as dry as it's been, not as warm as it's been. And so for today, we'll have the sunny side up, sunlit up slopes, up canyons, winds gusting to around 12 miles per hour at the highest elevations, maybe 15 miles per hour as you get up towards November there. And the temperatures will be ranging from lower to mid 80s in the lower elevations to mid to upper 60s in the higher elevations. Humidity also dry, but not as dry as it's been. It'll briefly slip into the 20% range to lower 30s, so not too bad there. But in coming days, we are definitely going to be building the heat and the dryness. And looking to tonight's shift, you'll just start to see the first hints of that in the form of some downslope, down valleys being a little bit more than it has been in typically, to where you'll see some gusts to 10 to 12 miles per hour for the down canyons. So that's it for fire weather.
Fire behavior.
Good morning, Don Watt with Fire Behavior. So we have a little clearer air this morning. Just realize that a lot of that smoke is going to sink down in the San Joaquin overnight. As it starts mixing, you'll start seeing a little more limited visibility for a short period this morning, hopefully clearing up in early this afternoon. The lower humidities that are coming are really going to enhance the fire behavior. The big thing today is you might have a little bit higher humidities. Use this day to really go after the heavy materials. Keep eye on those islands. Short range. Spotting will be short range most of the day. If you get up on some ridges, you can expect a little bit longer, less than a quarter mile at most. The biggest issue will be up in Nora. That's going to be actively burning. It'll probably actively burn throughout the night. It's not moving fast. It's just continue to chunk its way down the slope, and just have a safe shift today.
And branch and division work assignments.
Good morning. Merrick Fields, South Zone Day Operations with Incident Management Team 1. So you heard Night Ops say that we didn't have very many calls for service down here in X-Ray and Zulu. The reason we didn't have very many calls for service is we've got enough engines in there that the public's coming straight to those engine crews and telling them about smokes and stuff. So that's why we've got those engines in there. They're doing exactly what we need. There's still smokes in there. There's still heat around some of those structures. We need to get in there and diligently work on that with the public that's in there and start securing that. And then looking at the hose lays down in there and evaluating whether or not we need to start pulling those out. Moving over in Division Whiskey and Victor and Whiskey, we've still got some mop up in there along the main perimeter line. We got a short piece of line that we're going to go in there and tie in today, and that is the #1 priority, to get that piece tied in down there this morning so that we've got good direct line all the way around the south end of this fire. Moving up the bottom of Victor over there, continued mop up in there, securing the line and evaluating any excess equipment out there, hose lays, pumps, tanks, any of that type of stuff that we can start backhauling. We have a very good plan to start repopulating in Shaver Lake. We need to get in there and make sure that it's safe around all those homes. There's a ton of heat interior in this thing because we haven't really pushed in and started mopping up deep in off the perimeter just because we've been focused on the edges. So we got to start pushing in and mopping up deep interior as we start repopulating these areas. Moving over into Sierra and Romeo, we've still got that short piece in behind Chita Peak that we're going to go in and cut out today, and that should be buttoned up today, and that's going to allow us to keep pushing resources up into November. They had to do some defensive firing because it got to our decision points. The firing operation in there went well. It all held north of Kaiser Pass Road, and they may have to continue that firing today depending upon what the fire activity does, but they've got the infrastructure, or they've got the suppression systems around the infrastructure in there that we really care about, and we're monitoring that, and we're going to slowly do some defensive firing along Kaiser Pass Road if the need arises. Other than that, have a safe shift.
A branch and division roll call.
Good morning, BJ Corey, Resource Unit Leader with Team 1. This will be the branch and division roll call for the South Zone. Individual resources will be done at your divisional breakouts. So branches and divisions, as you hear your name, please stand, face the back so everybody can see and hear you. We will get started with branch 20, Johnson. Here. Division November is LaFleur, who is still out on the line today. Division Papa, Pavone. Here. Romeo, Smith. Here. Branch 2529, Stornetta. Here. And Ferris. Here. Division Sierra, Uniform, Lowry. Victor Whiskey, Dunham. Here. And Wade. Here. X-Ray Zulu, Sorensen. Here. Repop, Bowman. Here. FSR is to be determined. Moving on to mitigation, Fleming. Here. And then our staging manager, Hale. Here. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe shift.
Just as a reminder, if you're here as a trainee, our training specialist will be leaving here in the next day or so. So we would like you to go see the training specialist if you've checked in as a trainee and close out your packet today. Thank you. Air operations.
Good morning. Matt Hill, Air Operations Incident Management Team 1. For today on fixed wing, we have air attack, and we'll order tankers as needed. For rotor wing, we have 6 Type 1s and 4 Type 2s and 2 Type 3s. We have Copter 407 as our 24-hour medevac hoist ALS ship. And then we also have 1 MRB still available. Folks, I want to thank you for getting out of the way of all the water dropping helicopters. Keep up the good work and make it a safe shift. Thank you.
Safety.
Good morning, Tim Marone, Team 1 Safety. So if you look on page 21, we have a fairly comprehensive safety message for you to look at. My 3 concerns for your safety today, number 1 is our fatigue and smoke issue. As you can tell, today's a little bit clearer than it has been, but as you guys go out to the line, the cumulative effects of the smoke and the fatigue have been very paramount in some of our operations. So as the day goes on, take that tactical pause for about 15, 20 minutes, get yourself into some clean air, get some of that clean air, get that oxygen back in your system, and clear your head as much as you possibly can. Second thing is going to be our accountability. Please, please, please check in and check out with your supervision. There have been some incidents and other incidents throughout the state where folks were holed up in a 24-hour resource. Their supervision was not aware of where they were located, and we had an incident emergency IWI within that. So that had a significant impact on the resources getting into those folks. The third thing is our driving, not necessarily on our part, but we also have a lot of cooperators that are out there that are really driving very fast, very erratically. So just be aware of all those different folks that are out there. I see a lot of people already nodding their head. Some of those folks are driving 55 plus miles an hour up and down these roads. So just be very cognizant of the people around you and just drive very defensively. Other than that, have a good day and be safe.
Communications.
Good morning, Tom Webb, Communications Unit Leader. No changes from your previous work periods to the comm plan for today. We're still available up in room number 5 for any of your radio needs, cloning, repairs, anything like that. Have a safe shift. Thank you.
Medical.
Good morning, Jeff Orlando, Medical Unit Leader Trainee. If you look at your 206, my number is on the top center. Down lower in the 206 is your in-camp emergency checklist and phone number. CalMat is over here in room 32 for your medical needs. Next to that is your IWI checklist. Make sure you review that and know that pretty well. Keep your boots tight. We're having some rollover injuries, so make sure your boots are good. And stay hydrated out there. Have a safe day.
Logistics.
Good morning, Jacob Garrett, Logistics. For those of you that are new to camp, page 45 of your IEP is your base camp map for all your logistical needs. Page 27 is the services schedule for all of those logistical needs. Also, page 28 is your CAL FIRE 101. For any items left out on the line or anything damaged, you will need to fill that out, and it does require a division signature to get those items replaced. Also, remember, lunches are 24-hour lunches. That's 1 per person. Not 2, just 1. Also, we're getting reports there's a lot of trash still being left out on divisions. Please backhaul your trash. Thanks.
Information.
Good morning, Emily Smith, Public Information. If you'd like to join me on page 29, I have an update in acreage and containment for you. The current acreage is 291,426 acres at 36% containment, with 3,085 personnel assigned to the incident. On this page in your IAP, there's a phone number for the public information as well as media line. So for those divisions that have reentry, repopulation, if anyone has questions from the public or media, please refer them to those numbers. And please also, everyone that's assigned to the creek incident, continue to adhere to the social media policies identified on this page. And we appreciate those that have come by to have your pictures vetted. And we look forward to seeing more of those pictures as well. We do have a lost and found in room 13, quite a few items, so make sure you come and check that out, as well as some packages have arrived. So if you're looking to have received something, it's in room 13. Thank you.
Law enforcement liaison.
Good morning, Chris Craycraft, Law Enforcement Liaison. Yesterday, we did do some repopulation up through Aubrey Road all the way up to the 168. The 4-lane traffic control point still at the top of the, up there by Cressman's. And so we do have some reentry going into Shaver Lake today. Just it's reentry, it's not repopulation, so there's going to be a lot more traffic. And we do get reports that some utilities are blocking the road up there where there is some repopulation or fire working. So just be careful with that. Share the road. And the safety tip for today is if traveling up and down the road, there's a lot more traffic going up and down the roads. So if your truck is struggling going up or down the roads, just pull your Chevy to the right in the turnouts and let the Fords pass, okay? Thank you.
Her resource advisor.
Good morning, Josh Corder, lead read here on the incident, and please continue to adhere to the resource of message. I know you got a lot to pay attention to and going out there, but if, check out pages 41 and 42 of your IAP and keep following those guidelines there. We appreciate it. And just to let you know about the Yosemite toad again, they're an endangered species, and right now they're more aggressively moving out of those meadows and riparian areas this time of year up into their habitat. So if you look there on your maps, you'll see some of the areas, mostly up in Sierra North. They hang out up there. And so in those areas, you'll see some circles around meadows and streams, and that's just kind of a heads-up area that they can wander about 1,500 feet away from a meadow to find a home. So you might see them more aggressively crossing the roads and so forth. So just kind of, if you don't mind, slow down in that area so we don't make them any more endangered than they are. Thanks.
Final comments from the incident commander.
Hi, good morning. George Huang, one of the Unified Deputy Incident Commanders for Cal Fire Incident Management Team 1. I just want to appreciate National Guard. I see you guys back there. You guys are stepping it up, and we're getting additional support to make sure that we're there for the community. As we wrap up our transition and our briefing, as we all know, those are times where situational awareness, and you're going to constantly hear this throughout all your careers and what we've listened to for the many times. When another incident management team comes in, just have situational awareness. There's a lot of things that we're going to be continuously working, coordinating through with each team to make sure that we have a clean and smooth transition to make sure that we're there for you, because this is where it counts. For a lot of individuals that are new to this incident or that have been here for many weeks at a time, I just want to reiterate what Sheriff Curtis said last night. And if you didn't hear the story, just know that this is the reason why you're here. During the time of the Creek Fire, when we were evacuating many residents out of these communities, Caltrans went up to 168 and actually removed a sign. It was for a fallen Fresno County sheriff. And that memorial sign was removed because while the sheriffs and everybody else was evacuating many folks from the community, this is a tight community. And the Caltrans and CHP went up there, took down the sign, and actually saved it, and it's back up there. So remember, as you're out there and as you're fighting this fire, it's 36%. It's not out yet. We still have a mission. We still have a battle. So get out there, continue to fight this fire, and remember, we're not here expecting what can the community do for us, is what can we do for the community. Have a great day.
Okay, breakout locations, they've changed a little bit. To my left, November Papa, followed by Romeo, and then Sierra Union's combined just above that area. Victor has moved back over to the cafeteria area with Victor Whiskey, followed by X-Ray Zulu. Mitigations at the far corner here of this building with staging on the other side, and then Repop will be right behind the stage area here. All unassigned resources, see resources in the back if you're not on the IEP and you're not on the demob list. Have a safe shift.